Hello everybody, welcome to the Extreme Stream. Testing today, trying some new settings, so please bear with me if things are a little weird. Alright, going through my screens here. Frederick! Hey buddy! What up, Frederick? You'll have to see about our conversation later today. There's not a lot of conference rooms available at my office, so we may not be able to talk until later or something, but we'll figure it out. Yeah. Aviat, how you doing? Crypto mining, hello. No more losing money, Frederick. Just go cash. Just sit in cash. That's okay. I did change some settings in the live stream. I lowered the bit rate and I lowered the audio quality. So just let me guys know if you guys notice any difference, or if it's any better, if it's any worse. If you can guys give me some feedback, that would be good. Thank you guys. Well, that's good, Frederick. 25% in, I think is pretty good right now. Profit on Neo. Neo's actually one of the few holding up. As you guys know, we had a little bit of a sell-off. Bitcoin actually sold off and broke that declining trend line that I drew yesterday right here. So Bitcoin sold off. Look at the volume. Volume is up, so that's not good. So yeah, so as we head lower there, we can definitely maybe see some support here at this high at about 4,100, and then we know 4,000 is a pretty big psychological barrier as well. Ethereum was never really looking very healthy and still just kind of languishing around. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? Tim and Amy, hello. We get Tim and Amy. That's really cool. Let's check it out. Is SEC a buy zone? Let's look at SEC. I don't have them in TradingView, which kind of means they don't exist, unfortunately. Pivx hit the bottom. Oh yeah, you know where the bottom is? Man, if only you could just... Looks like it's bounced off the bottom. Whoa. Looks like some very nice volume popping up here. Yeah, that is a bottom. So here's a prior low. Here's a high that was... Actually, I think we talked about this briefly. If Pivx gets down to this level... yeah, that's pretty crazy move up off of a low. I wonder if they had some kind of news event. So, yeah, that's interesting. Definitely broke this trend line right here. Definitely broke that. If you can get a retest of this trend line at some point, that may be healthy for an entry. We'll have to wait and see. If you guys didn't check out Spread Coin up 40% today, they had some massive volume. Almost out of nowhere. They did have a small little pop, and then a consolidation, then a continuation. Not much. Not really passing previous high though, so really not sure what's sparking this. Maybe there's some news out. Hard to say. Chris, you're still above ground. You know what? That's my definition of success, buddy. Zcash. Gotcha. Extreme Stream. That's right, .com. Haven't done Litecoin yet. We got Game. I did not talk about IOP. We have been talking about IOP. I was looking at it earlier today. It's up a little bit. Let's check out Game, and we'll check out Civic, and we'll check out IOP. Everybody wants Bitcoin for some reason, so we'll do Bitcoin. Looking pretty good, not bad right here. Nice volume coming up off of this consolidation after this large pop-up. Yeah, this isn't looking too bad right up in here. Game credit's not looking bad. Nice volume to the upside here. Consolidation. And now we're starting to see some acceleration here. 13% back up to the highs of the move, so that's some pretty good profit right there, but it's probably about 8 or 9% down to these lows. Overall, not bad. A little inverted head and shoulders pattern here. Looks like everything had that pattern, and it kind of popped up. It kind of reminds me of First in terms of that pattern, but I know First touched our target and then just caved. For those of you that were able to catch this massive move up, I got stopped out over here after it didn't move. Interesting. And someone mentioned Zcash, which I think is right here. Someone mentioned Zcash here on the 2-hour chart. So we're kind of down here towards this breakout point. Not a bad place if you want to enter a position. You do kind of have a natural stop. I would say at the lows of this move right here, you have a natural stop. Sorry, trying to increase that for you guys a little bit. How's the stream doing? Anyone having any issues? So Stratus IOP. Okay, good. Stream is good. Good. Yeah, let's look at Stratus. Someone mentioned Stratus. IOP. Someone also mentioned Litecoin. Let's go to Litecoin first. So Litecoin broke down to the symmetrical triangle here, kind of coming down to this low. Not much happening here. It's an avoid for me until you see some upward action. I know a lot of people like Omisego, but we've been talking about this as just in a choppy action. Cut below this trend line here, and we're just living below this trend line here. So this is dead to me at this moment in time. A lot of people like in NEO. I think Aviad said you just took some profits in NEO. Looks like we're kind of bouncing off of this trend line here at this moment in time. Maybe we can redraw this, but not really. Yeah, not really. Kind of bouncing off of this trend line. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can continue higher. NEO, in my opinion, is kind of a bellwether for the market, which is why we're seeing choppy action today. I know QDM has a big event coming up tomorrow, and we see they were trying to hold this 26 level in QDM, and they didn't really do that. They broke down, although they consolidated just beneath it and broke back above it. So that's some bullish action. So let's see if we can continue higher from here in QDM. Where's Strat? Oh, there it is. I passed it up. Stratus. Whoa! That makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little bit. But on the right side of the chart, not too bad. You have some definite volume action happening. Let's see if we can zoom in. Zoom in. Come on. God, it's just doing nothing. Alright, so we have that bottoming candle there on some pretty decent volume. The next candle after that on high volume isn't bad, although it did sell into the bar, which isn't great action. But the next bar here, and it looks like we're about an hour and a half into a 2-hour bar, and the volume is pretty negligible at this point. Not my favorite action in the coin, although I can see why you would be looking at it. There was a lot of volume action down here. This definitely could be a bottom. You have a natural stop at the lows there at the looks like 80,000 Satoshi level, so you can maybe use that for a trade. But not horrible, not horrible. I still don't like buying things at lows like this. You just never know. Like, say you bought it off of this volume right here, right? You have a very kind of benign rise, and then it just craters on you. So you never know where the low is. You never know where the low is. That's always the hard part with buying lows. Civic and Lisk. We did cover QDM a little bit. QDM is just kind of doing its thing until it's swapped tomorrow. Civic, there's no reason to be interested in Civic. I don't see any great reason. You can take this trend line here and kind of borrow it and point it against that area. So Civic is breaking declining or inclining trend line after inclining trend line. Typically not a good pattern, okay? So you have a little inclining trend line here, it broke it. You have an inclining trend line here, it broke it to the downside. This is just not healthy action. I would just run away from this coin as fast as I possibly could. Lisk. Let's go check out Lisk. Lisk looks like it is one of the few things that is up. I haven't actually looked at the chart yet though. So I think they're up because they're down pretty. They're down towards the bottom of this high consolidation range. This is against Bitcoin, so I can see why there would be some support here. This wouldn't be a bad place to accumulate Lisk if you're a longer term holder. If you're a trader, I still think you need to, you know, if you want to take a position here, fine. You can see on the dollar, there's a lot further downside to be had on Lisk right here. I have Lisk in Bitcoin and in dollars. One of the few that I do have against both. Just kind of, you know, playing around with the dichotomy. So you can see here the dollar, as Bitcoin sank, it brought the Lisk price down. You know, it stayed up here, but on the dollar, anyway, you know what I'm saying. For some reason, I can't verbalize that. But you see this large downside action in the dollar. That means that Bitcoin had a large downside action alongside Lisk, which is why it was kind of a less aggressive sell-off. And then down here, yeah, not really crazy volume. I would want to see more volume over on this side. Like here, you at least have some volume. There's really no volume over here. And with downward action and no volume, that's really not very healthy. Korean government is banning ICOs for now to capitalize on Icon. Good for them. Link, Vertcoin. Wish I had unlimited money to buy all these coins. You know what, K-Bo Slice, if you had unlimited money, I would like to borrow some of that from you, and we wouldn't have to trade altcoins. We would just have unlimited money. So, any thoughts on NEO? Let's go take a look at NEO. Let's go take a look at NEO again. So, yeah, NEO's bouncing off this trend line right here. Bouncing off this trend line, as long as it stays above this trend line, you are in an active uptrend. I would stay bullish on NEO until we break this trend line or see some kind of massive topping action. So we have a top here, but the volume is not very toppy, so I don't consider this topping action at this moment in time. Hopefully, maybe we just continue higher. Maybe we edge higher and then have a couple pops, and then we break over this level. We'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. VTC Stellar Lumens. VTC's Vertcoin. All right, Vertcoin. So first thing I notice, there's no volume. There's no volume indicating large buyers. That's a negative. We're in a choppy sideways market. You're in a range here. You're range bound between this 1100 mark. You see these three tops here at 1100, and then you're kind of range bound somewhere between this 90 to 95. I would probably put it right there at 93.7. Right there. So you're range bound between those 2 points until you see volume confirmation to either direction. This is what's called a choppy market, and this kind of market will eat up your account if you let it. So the best thing you can do in a sideways market is really just be cash. You know, you only want to put money to risk when you have upward potential in coins, and upward potential doesn't mean that it's at a low price. That is not upward potential. Do you follow Tone Vase at all? ETH looks bad to him. No, I do not follow him, and ETH does not look good to me either. Doomed to drop, looking at the technicals. Any major thoughts on Ethereum short-term future? Yes, I have not been a fan of Ethereum's action. We've talked about in last night's video the divergence between Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't think that's a good thing overall for the market. I think obviously Bitcoin leads. Actually, right now it's leading to the downside, down 2.3%, where Ethereum is down 2%. But this is not healthy action in Ethereum. Although I will say I'm not going to call doom and gloom quite yet. Not going to call doom and gloom quite yet. I think I did enough of that during the last bear market. I didn't get a lot of blowback, but I don't want to. I have a hard time. I try to take the job I have here at Real Crypto with you guys seriously. And I really don't want to steer your trading in a direction, even though sometimes you look for me to do that. My job is to give you information and to teach you so you can make good decisions based on your trading strategy. So I don't see doom and gloom here. I don't like this chart. There's not much to like about it. But right now it's just choppy action. It's just sideways choppy action like we were looking at with, I think it was Civic or one of the other smaller coins. As we have this sideways choppy action, really anything can happen at any given moment in time. You can have a nice pop on this on some mediocre volume and a nice drop on the same mediocre volume. So you're just going to have to wait and see what it does. But that being said, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin had a nice little rally here, and this could leg down into this 4,100, 4,000 level and bounce again, and that would be quite a healthy move. Ethereum doesn't have that history right now. This whole action is just very choppy. Now, granted, it could pop up at any time and form a bull flag, and that's ideally what we would like to see. But if this, maybe this breaks down and then the 255 level here, maybe this kind of gives us some support. But right now, it's in no man's land, so I'm avoiding it. I haven't touched it. I did get into some Bitcoin. I have actually since sold that Bitcoin. Yeah, it's just, the market's just really choppy here. It's just all over the place. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's not very healthy. That Bitcoin 1200 video that I made, I don't know if that is in the cards, but it just doesn't look like there's any momentum pushing us up towards highs right now. Doesn't mean we won't get there, but if we get there on low volume, that definitely would indicate a possible double top in Bitcoin and these coins, and then I think maybe we just crash from there, kind of like what we saw with Ethereum. It double topped at 400. So anyway, just kind of. Oh, we never looked. Oh, PTOY dipped under ascending trend line shortly, but jumped up again right away. Positive sign for the rest. Nothing special. Not so much volume, to be honest. Edge looks like it could take off. QDM bull flag 30 minutes Bittrex. That's good. Loving ARK right now. Litecoin, self-made Litecoin. Litecoin is breaking down from a symmetrical triangle pattern. Not very healthy action. So, yeah. So here's the symmetrical triangle in Litecoin. It broke down from that. Symmetrical triangles, they kind of show equilibrium in the market, and whichever way it goes, up or down, you kind of have to respect that answer. And right now the answer is lower. So until we get confirmation above this trend line, I think Litecoin is an avoid personally. If you're a bottom catcher, I still don't even see bottoming volume in this at this point in time. Like I said, just a lot of chop in this market. A lot of chop. Unless you see some really definitive good moves in coins, I say you just stay away and be an observer. I mean, that's my personal opinion. So one that has been working good is Internet of People. We talked about this back down here, and we've been following this pretty much every move up. This coin trades extremely well. Internet of People is just a lovely coin to trade. So this is a well trading coin. If you want to trade a coin, you need to trade something like Internet of People that trends extremely well. You don't want to get caught in these kind of sideways coins. Let me just randomly pick something. Yeah, see, like, it's kind of hard to trade this. There's a clear buy signal right here. That's pretty obvious, but other than that, this is just really choppy as of lately. Let's see about this one. Let's see if this is choppy or well behaved. Again, more chop, really no well-defined buy. I mean, I guess you could define this as a buy probably right here. One good up move and then just choppy action. Versus if you go back to Internet of People, look at that. We have some well-defined downward movements, then to a sideways movement, downward, then a break, consolidation, then a break. Now we're getting to the point where there's a bit of change in behavior just right up here. But as of lately, this has been behaving very well. Up here, we're kind of sitting towards these tops. And if you actually look back at Internet of People, it has had much higher prices. This is actually a pretty small consolidation. So, like, if you want to take this could be a setup for a much larger run in IOP. Okay? I'm not saying this is going to happen, but like if you look at the history of the chart, this thing went quiet and went flat for quite some time, and then boom, look at all this life coming into this. Look at this healthy action. I mean, this is a coin you want to trade. You guys are asking me about this coin, that coin. Look for good quality coins. You know, a coin like, I think it was Civic that was just chopping around. I have no idea what you see in that coin. Maybe it was a news article, maybe it was a Twitter post. I have no idea, but you want to look for charts that have good accumulation, good chart patterns, charts that behave well. I mean, look at the volume here. I mean, does anyone really see any real selling on this chart? I don't. I see nothing but big green bars, and all the red bars are smaller. Like, every red bar is smaller than the previous green bar. It's just nothing but accumulation in IOP. So, I mean, we had a 500% run from here all the way up to here. Doesn't mean we can't get another 250% run if it decides to break out of this overall pattern. Now, you know, we're looking at this chart in the 2-hour, but like I said, you go back to the daily, guys. Go back to the daily. This tells a different story. What does this tell you? So, what does this tell you? This tells me, yeah, IOP could, like I said, if it buys here out of that 1350, 14 level, you know, where's your next resistance is maybe up here at 150% up, and then after that you're almost into clear skies. I mean, most of this is so old that it's not even a factor. I mean, you could have another 500% in IOP. That is a possibility. I mean, nothing about this chart says maybe. I mean, this chart basically says, I really want to run. I want to run for the hills, and who wants to run with me? I mean, that's kind of what it says to me. Where would be a good entry point for IOP? Coins on IOP having a very low market cap, couldn't it be easily manipulated by people with lots of money? That is a valid point. That is a valid point. At the same time, this is a lot of volume, and if they're going to put this much money to work, that isn't manipulation. That is not manipulation. This pop and this drop is manipulation. You can't manipulate for 500% moves. I'm not aware of an easy strategy to do that. The only reason you would manipulate a market to the point of 500% is if you could trade options on them and make them 10,000%. So, I think, Frederick, you asked about a good entry point on IOP. A good entry point would basically be kind of over these all-time highs. Like, you know how we were talking about declining trend lines and picking 2 points, things of that nature? You know, I think you'd want to do this, but on the daily chart. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get this so we can see this effectively. I should probably tweet this out. You guys think I should tweet this out? People would probably like to see this, no? So, I mean, we're actually almost getting to a potential really good buy point. This is the first time I've drawn this chart, by the way. I noticed it earlier, but I've never really said it in chat, and I haven't really done any analysis on it. But I mean, you take this declining trend line, something like this, and I mean, it's already kind of hitting right at that level. You get some really nice volume in IOP, man. Maybe we just hold on for the ride and just watch the thing run. I don't know. But there's a nice declining trend line across these highs. Volume's spectacular. There's nothing wrong with this chart. Eon, whatever. You know, we looked at that yesterday. That looked really good yesterday. Has it done anything? Down 4%. Yeah, this had a spectacular move yesterday. This large red topping candle is definitely some topping action. Look at the volume. That's pretty spectacular volume. I'm on the daily chart. Let me zoom into the 2-hour chart just to get some granularity for everyone. Okay. So I think we were looking at it yesterday at maybe this bar, something like that. We were talking about it going, coming back to a prior consolidation level. Maybe it was right here we talked about it. I don't remember. But right now it's just kind of aiming down on lower volume. So it's really, I really wouldn't do much with it here. The volume is low. You want to look for some potential bottoming volume. You want to see a prior high be tested and hold up. So it's, you know, overall this could have another run in it. You definitely could have some more legs. You can get 50% if it gets back right here to $3. That's 50%. So, you know, I say you keep an eye on all these things. Kabichi, oh, you missed it again, man. I gave away all the secrets to cryptocurrencies. Sorry about that, buddy. Maybe you can go. Maybe you can rewind it. How does BAT look short term? Will it break out? Frederick likes it, so let's check it out. If Frederick likes it, I'm in on it. Man, look at how many charts you guys made me put in here. Holy bejesus. Frederick, where were you on this one, buddy? Right here. Here's our trend line. Boom. There's our volume. Where were we at? Where are we at? Basic attention token. Okay, let's go out to the 4-hour chart. I actually got a text notification on this one. Let's go to the daily. And of course we end up with flatline action. Not my favorite chart. There we go. Okay, so this is not looking horrible. That's as far back as I'm going to go. I think I'm going to get to that ICO bar soon. So we had this trend line that I drew here. Looks like we actually just broke out of that trend line. Ah, come on. There we go. Yeah, it looks like we just broke out. This maybe could be in for a decent move. On a one-day chart, we have about 5 hours left. Look at this nice volume bar. Yeah, could be good for a pretty good run. It does have a history of spiking higher and dropping down, which I'm not a big fan of. It looks like that's a target bar. Let me remove that. Okay, but yeah, it still does have a history of spiking higher, but oh, I mean, overall not too bad. It seems to be holding up really well here so far. If we get into all-time, so this is the all-time closing high, would be right at the top of this bar. If we can take out the top of this bar and volume stays nice, I would say this thing could be in for a pretty good run. Could be in for a pretty good run, but it has to kind of, the volume needs to keep up. It really is what needs to happen. This thing has a history of selling off for these moves pretty rapidly. That being said, we have a series of higher lows indicating there's more support and less selling. And we're coming up towards the top of all these tops. And as we start wedging higher and this flattens out, the ceiling becomes weaker. So it could be a possibility here that we could run in pretty decently. But it may be tricky. It may just pop. But yeah, if it comes out of this overall pattern right here, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So good eye, Frederick. Frederick is getting pretty good with those charts. And Mayron, you mentioned BAT first, so thank you very much. It looks like it will break out. Looks like it may, but volume is always the key. And anytime you have a coin like this that tends to fade breakouts, like it's faded this breakout 4 times now. With this wedging action up here, though, it's looking much more healthy, and the volume is looking pretty good. So, yeah, I would think it could definitely be poised to break out. I think it could definitely be poised. It's hard to call an exact number, though, because you don't want to buy it up here like it's 70. That seems like it's way too far. It's actually kind of in a buy zone right now, to be honest with you. It looks like it's in a buy zone. We broke down from this declining trend line here. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. It broke right down here. If you continue this trend line, broke right down here, and the volume was there. I say you're still in a buy zone for this thing. And then you just have to make sure you know where your stop is. Maybe this inclining trend line could be your stop. So this is a bit on how to like place a real life trade, right? So, you know, you could have that inclining trend line as a stop. You could have this horizontal support as a stop. You could have this horizontal resistance as a stop. So, but it's looking pretty good. What's your Twitter and Facebook users? I don't have a Facebook for my channel. My Twitter is Real Crypto Trade. That is my Twitter. Extreme Stream! That's right, Mayron. It's the Extreme Stream. VTC's making a move. Let's watch you make your move. 12:47. I got about 10 minutes left, everybody. 10 minutes left. Doesn't look like much volume in Vertcoin here. Yeah, like I said, ideally, I mean, really volume is going to tell you the strength of a move. So I don't see a lot of strength here right now. I mean, you notice this moved up too, and then it just chopped around. So, I mean, yeah, could it get back up to that dollar level, and maybe you make, or 108, maybe you make 6 cents out of it? You could do that. You love the extreme stream. Thank you very much, Mayron. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Link? I don't remember if I looked at Link. Frederick calling low volume on VTC. You're the man. How do you feel about Pay? Pay's just really weak right here. Let's go take a look at Pay. Yeah, sitting down with a little bear flag here. Just going weaker. I can't quite explain it. I have a feeling this thing may pop at some point on some big volume for whatever reason, but at this point in time, it's just treading lower. I already got out of my Pay position, and yeah, it's just not looking healthy to get back in. It's just it's floundering. I mean, it just looks sad, doesn't it? Like even when you zoom out here, let's zoom out a little bit. I mean, yeah, it just looks pretty sad. Almost doesn't quite have a head and shoulders on it, but it kind of has that type of a feel to it, right? You kind of have a shoulder here, a head, and then you kind of have a shoulder here. If you can call these two shoulders if you want to, but I really wouldn't do that. You know, that would imply a move lower, but I wouldn't extrapolate that actually. It just doesn't look good. I mean, this doesn't look like IOP, right? IOP is pointing higher. This is definitely not. Bad news for 10X. JBLTF, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys appreciating me. It really makes it easier to do these. Omisego not doing very well. Yeah, Omisego has really been in a position where it's consolidating a huge run-up since its ICO, a 2,500% move. It is consolidating that move. I mean, yeah, there's going to be trades in here. You can trade anything for for some gains, but in the intermediate term, I think Omisego is a choppy market at best. If you want to buy lows and try to sell highs, if you want to play with that game, I think you can try to do that. It can chop between this 11.50 area and, like I was saying, between $8 and $9. Looks like it bottomed here at 8.50. So you have a floor here at 8, and then you have some action up here at 9 as well. So somewhere in here, it's going to find some support, and maybe you can trade that for some cash, but you're not going to see the 50% move in Omisego in the intermediate term future, in my opinion. ARK might make a run. Let's look at ARK. ARK sitting right there, down 8%. I don't know what's down 8%. Nope, no ARK. It's pointing down, guys, pointing down. I need to put you all through my... Y'all need to go through my trading course. It's not out yet, but you guys need to go through it. SafeX, sure, why not? Oh, come on. All right. I'm going to blame the keyboard, but I'm sure it's my fingers. Come on, keyboard. SafeX. So yeah, it looks like I drew an inverted head and shoulders here. It tried to cross it, but it failed miserably, and now it's sitting down here at this shoulder. Not looking healthy. No volume down here. Next coin. Was ADX covered? ADX was not covered. I haven't covered ADX in a while. Come on. I don't understand this computer sometimes. ADX had some nice moves we were playing with. Oh, this is some interesting action here. Some interesting action. Looks like a bit of a stair step higher. There's a cup with handle here, right here, that we broke out of. You can maybe call this another cup with handle. I guess that's a thing. I know someone mentioned a cup with handle yesterday in Neo, I think it was, and I didn't think it was valid. This could be a case for a cup with handle within a cup with handle, if you want to call it that. But nonetheless, this is definitely a cup with handle, and yeah, so it looks like it's consolidating down here. It could be decent for an entry point. You do kind of have a natural stop loss right here at this $1.16, $1.15 level with these 2 points here, and past that, yeah, it could be good for some upside. Volume is very nice. Volume has a nice pattern to it. You have a big pop on the uptrend, and then you have another little pop here. Not horrible. Pretty good. Hit the like button. There you go, guys. So VIA versus Bitcoin looking interesting. I think we just looked at that. We'll try Bitcoin. Some nice volume spikes, that's good. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Oh yeah, kind of interesting. Look at this. We kind of have a trend line happening right here. You can almost just take that. Looks like we're just starting to possibly wedge out of this possible trend line here. Looks like a cup and then another cup, and some nice volume here. So yeah, this one's not too bad. Having a little bit of support here at these lows, a double bottom here, and then a support level here at, what is this, 26? So then if you feel like, it looks like it's pulled back some. Is that where that is? Yeah, 33. It's pulled back some. So wait until it can definitively go over this trend line. And then you got 22% to the high there, and then to the high over here if we get there, and about 50% or so. Yeah, so there's a few coins not looking bad. This one's not bad at all. Nice volume spikes all over the place, looking very nice. First Blood, XRP, ADDX and IOP. I'm liking that IOP trade, guys. I'm gonna eye that thing. I mean, that thing ran 500%. It could do that again. I'm gonna eyeball that thing. I would say you should let First Blood consolidate. Let's check out First Blood. Yeah, you know, I got stopped out of First Blood. I'm happy with the loss. I don't care that much. Did hit our target on the nose right there, if you remember that, guys. If you remember that. And then yeah, you know, he's right. It does need to consolidate. Did come back here and test this breakout area. Getting some selling here. So, but this thing's it's a little choppy. This pattern has already played out right here, this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So we could definitely be in an uptrend situation here. But we still don't really have a higher high. Like, these are all lower highs. Even this is a lower high. So we really need to have a higher high at this point to consider us in an uptrend. That being said, down at this level, I don't think you have a lot of risk on the table. Considering that we broke out from here on some pretty good volume. So there may be some support down here at 35, but I think it's still going to be like a 33% stop loss if you, 20% stop loss. That's still a huge stop loss. I say if you want to play with First Blood, be careful with it. If it makes a crazy spike lower for some reason and the volume isn't large, then maybe you take a position. But there's lots of coins that are, yeah, there's a few altcoins that are making some decent moves. Dogecoin, I really don't do Dogecoin. I am not in IOP at the moment, Frederick, but I will take a look after the stream here and set my alerts. So, Kreishin, good job saying First Blood should consolidate. Good call on that one. I think that's a good one. SNGLS. Is that a coin there? It is Singular DTV. What is that? I've never heard of that thing before. It doesn't look very good. Big wide choppy action. This is an avoid in my book. Better coins out there. That may be a good idea, Frederick. Maybe that's a good thing to do. I'll do that over Twitter. That may not be good. Here you go, my first teaser. I've never done this before, but if you guys don't know Real Crypto Trade, I will put my IOP alerts on there. Why not? Let's do that. Let's do that. That's not a bad idea. ADA. I need to market myself better. ADA versus Bitcoin. I don't have a choice on you, do I? Down 16%. Why would I like this? Oh, this just ICO? Well, that could be interesting. Not like here could be interesting, but I do like recent ICOs. Here's the thing about ICOs, everyone, if you're still listening. Thank you very much. Anytime ICOs, like take this one for example, I would probably call this at this 700 Satoshi level. Anytime an ICO goes over its ICO high, and I don't count these first bars, these are a joke. All they do is make my charts look horrible. Anytime you go over like the very first high in the ICO, but I'm actually going to call it this one at 700, coins tend to make massive moves. So anytime you have a recent ICO with a coin going over a high really early, like the first day or two, or even the first hour, anytime it's going to run over that, see we have a series of lower highs. Here, you know, here's a lower high on that bar, here's a lower high, here's a lower high, this is even a lower high, and we still, I mean, this is a lower high. So once we start to break this cycle, could be good for an upward trend, but then once we get over these ICO highs, these things can really run. You kind of saw that in IOTA. I traded IOTA. I think it was like one of my first videos on YouTube. If you guys want to go back and check that out. I don't think anyone's looked at those videos in a long time. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, my first videos in IOTA, I talk about breaking out of ICO highs. So you can see right here, here's the ICO high in IOTA, and boom, it broke it right there, and just boom, it had a huge run up. Yeah, so that's always a cool signal to look for. So that being said, guys, I'm out of time today. I will do a market recap later on in the day, and I will see you guys on Twitter later. I'll go ahead and do my IOP thing. Check out that Twitter feed, and I'll put out that chart on IOP. Thank you, Frederick. Guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a great day, and I will see you next time on the Extreme Stream.